Hey, welcome back. Hope you're doing well. I just had a thought that I wanted to share, and it's really led to me being so much more productive with my painting. I found that the greatest sort of mindset shift or just hack that I've implemented has been limiting the amount of things that I can use. Right, basically just minimizing my decisions that need to be made. Um, and a lot of that is with tools, but also with sort of your vision for your painting. Um, I find that if I use less tools, fewer colors, only have one or two brushes available, and if I work in a sketchbook with low stakes, I'm not trying to create this big masterpiece. If I set my expectation on process, enjoy process, that's it, and just use a few things, you know, limit what you can do. Then I get more creative. I do work that I've, hadn't considered doing before. I have more sort of outside the box thinking. There's more innovation that happens when you have less things to work with because you're forced to think outside the box. You're forced to make do with what you have. The tool doesn't define you. You look for ways to use the one tool that you have in many different ways. So what that looks like in practice is my palette. My watercolor palette is a small one. It's a Schminky, I think that's how it's called, palette. And there's like 10, 12 colors in here. They're not all filled. I mostly use like 5 to 6 different colors. Two for each hue. And I don't really clean it much, right? So I'm not, hell-bent on like perfection, clear colors. Oh my God, everything has to be perfect, pristine. If I do that, I go crazy. I go absolutely insane. I get all obsessed with how perfect I can make something, how, pristine and avoid accidents. With watercolor especially, it's very hard to do that. It's very hard to avoid accidents. Now, there are people who have incredible works of art that are very detailed and look flawless. But I found that for me, the way I enjoy painting the best and what works for me is just having this kind of messy approach, or at least just a sketch approach. I use a bamboo brush. I use like a nice round Winsor Newton brush, and then this is like a small little Kolinsky like mop brush, like a small one. I have bigger brushes I can use for bigger paintings, but if I get so obsessed with the materials, what is that artist using? Oh my God, he has this brush. Oh, she's using that blue. Like, look at that crazy blue that whatever, dude. Like, I can't obsess over that stuff. I go down a rabbit hole. I think, oh, I won't be able to paint the way I want to paint and create good enough work unless I have that special thing, right? That magic brush. I remember taking a workshop with somebody, and this is like 10 years ago. I was just learning how to paint plein air, and she had like a little spray bottle that she would spray her palette to wake up the colors. And I was like, oh, what is she doing? She would do it every time she would, every 20 minutes or so. And I was like, oh man, what kind of liquid is that? What is she spraying on her paints? Like that must be why her paints look so good on the paper. Her landscape looks so perfect. It's glowing. And it was like a little spray. It was like a water bottle, right? She was just spraying water to keep the paint wet. But in my students, obsessive material mindset, I thought that, oh man, there's something magic in there. That must be like a special potion or something. It sounds silly, but I'm like, that's how obsessed I was. When I just find a few things that work, and just like I haven't bought materials in a while, I'll obviously buy paint tubes whenever I run out, but the brushes, I just try to take care of them. I found a few that work for me. And then like having a sketchbook, like I have this This is just like, I don't even know what sketchbook this is, but it's just a watercolor sketchbook. And I have some things from, I've like messy landscape studies that I've done in the park. Here, in my studio, I have some things that I'm like, forgive me for not having this stuff ready, but some studies of different paintings that inspired me, like little still life watercolors that I've done. I feel like when I do things in a way that there's so much pressure to be perfect, I like mess it up big time. Oh yeah, I mess it up big time. This is, I actually like this little banana, but it's, I feel like there's some work here. I'm like, ugh. But that's okay. It's just a sketchbook. I don't have to show you every page, right? I can show you the studies I've done, like a sergeant study, which I just enjoy doing. I want to maximize the enjoyment I have when I paint. And yeah, so that might be like a hack. Maybe it's not, maybe you already knew that, but I found that mental shift of limit your tools, focus on the process of actually putting paint on paper. That's it. What are you thinking about in your head? What vision do you have? How do you want it to appear? Try to create that using as few things as possible, right? Maybe that's just making a monochromatic sketch or a full-fledged painting or whatever. I think that's one of the best things that you can do to increase your productivity. How much you paint, how much you enjoy painting. I found when I use like a neutral tint watercolor from Daniel Smith, and it's just like black basically, like a blue-black, and I just created monochromatic paintings for like a month. And it was great. I had a great time doing it. I explored different styles, different effects, like different landscapes, rainy scenes, bright scenes with the shadows and all that, like a lot of cityscapes and whatnot. But it took all of the pressure off trying to create a color harmony. And then, when you introduce color to a painting, obviously you're complicating things. Not to say that's not important, but like going with a gray, just doing monochromatic, solved a lot of my issues. Having one or two brushes solved a lot of my issues. Whatever feels right, like I picked the brush that felt right. Like, oh, I kind of like this one. I don't care if that's not what the masters use, or it's not what's being pushed on the website, whatever. I just use what's I've found works for me. I have a sketchbook. I have a few different sketchbooks that I just sketch in, and they might never see the light of day, and that's okay. But I think there's so much pressure to produce something that's perfect and to get something online. Oh, I gotta get something up. I gotta get it. I gotta post it. I gotta finish this and post it. That drives me absolutely insane. I did that for a long time, and now I'm like, I gotta just do me. Post it when I'm ready, or don't post it. But I'm not so obsessed with the finished product as I am now with the process. It's made things a lot more enjoyable. I don't make such a big deal about the art. Like I think I talked about this in a different video, but I'm not as obsessed with how I'm viewed or if I get validation from others with my paintings. That sort of melts away when I think, let me just limit my materials, let me just enjoy the process. If you like using 25 different colors, then whatever, do it. I don't know, it's cool. But for me, decision overload, I was like, oh my God, I can't even follow this stuff. I'm not like a mathematician that doesn't make any sense, but like, I can't have a ton of different decisions running through my head. I'm not extremely analytical where I can, if I make this brown, like with using these 3 different colors, like, oh, I'll go crazy. So I focus on limiting things, trying to produce quality work, even in the sketchbook, but you know, there's a reason why charcoal and graphite is so popular. It's one color, it's one material, and there are people who are creating such incredible works with just graphite. Look at the old masterworks, like some of the drawings from the past, absolutely incredible. And it's just a pencil, like, enough said, you know? So anyway, just a thought. Let me know if you agree. If you're having trouble, don't know what to paint or draw, I challenge you to just use one color, one brush. Look outside your window and see if there's something that interests you, right? Maybe it's light falling on the neighbor's house or something like that. I say that because that's what I see right now. But it's a simple subject, but it can be very beautiful and it can get you unstuck. Anyway, I hope that's helpful. I'll talk soon.